Hi, welcome to Inspiration Station here on Entrepreneur.com. I'm Kirsten Kloss. Thanks very much for watching. On our show today, we are going to be discussing the topic of being extraordinary and innovative in business. So with us today, I have David Sturt. David is an executive vice president of the O.C. Tanner Institute. He's also a New York Times Bestselling author of the book Great Work, How to Make a Difference People Love. His career began in market research, where he analyzed the impact of recognition on people and their work. Well, David, thanks very much for joining us on the show today.
It's a pleasure being with you.
Well, let's cut to the chase here. Let's talk about this amazing company and this institute, O.C. Tanner Institute. Tell us a little bit about the institute.
Sure. The O.C. Tanner Institute is the research and publishing arm of the O.C. Tanner Company. The O.C. Tanner Company has been around for 87 years. It's the largest recognition and appreciation company in the world and provides recognition awards and recognition solutions for large companies all over the planet. And so this institute is the research arm that dives into research and studies the effects of work and appreciation and how people deliver great work.
Well, on to you a little bit more here, and your New York Times best-selling book. It focuses on innovation at work. And first of all, what did you discover in your research in preparing for this book?
Sure. The research was really quite fascinating. We were looking at a database of 1.7 million examples of people who had received an award for their work. And so we were curious to find out, are there any common patterns? Are there certain things that people do consistently when you analyze literally thousands and thousands and thousands of examples? And so we basically read through the nominations of tens of thousands of these examples of award-winning work and read them and coded them looking for common themes. And we found several. In fact, we found 5 common activities that difference makers do that ends up making a huge impact on the outcome.
And I believe you. I remember, off camera, we discussed an example of a cell phone developer that you kind of highlighted in some of your research. Can you maybe elaborate on that?
Sure. One of the core activities that we saw that just came out of the research, when you interview people who have made a difference, you ask them, where did this all begin? Where did the first idea come into your mind? And inevitably, it comes from asking the right question. It comes from somebody asking a question like, why do we do it this way? Or what if we could do that? And one of the individuals that we interviewed for this research project was this founder, the inventor of the cell phone, a guy by the name of Marty Cooper. And at the time, he worked for Motorola, and he was just an engineer that was working at Motorola. And as you know, maybe Motorola back then worked on two-way radio technology. And his leader came to him and said, Marty, I want you to work on a radio-based car phone concept. And Marty thought about it, and instead of just rushing right in and just going to work on it, he paused for a minute and he asked himself a very good question. And he thought to himself, why is it that when I want to call a person, I have to call a place, I have to call a building? And you have to think back to the early 70s when he was doing this work. You'd have to look up the phone number to a house and call the house to talk to the person. Or you'd have to call an office to be able to talk to the individual. And he thought to himself, why do I have to do that? And that question provoked him, and it caused him to go back to his leader and say, we are working on the wrong project. If we work on a car phone, we're creating the same problem. Now you have to call a car in order to do what you really want to do, is talk to the person. So he convinced his leader to allow his team to focus all of their energy on creating a person-to-person telephone call. And that subsequently led to the very first cell phone. And all interestingly enough, based on the question that he asked, that produced a difference that, wow, billions of us use every single day.
Absolutely. Very, very interesting. David, tell us, what else did you find
Another one of those behaviors or things or actions that we saw people do was they talked to their outer circle. And let me explain that. We each have an inner circle. This is a group of 3 to 5 individuals that we talk to most of the time. We have an inner circle in our personal lives where these are the people we reach out to when we're struggling with something or when we want to talk to somebody about a problem we're having or whatever. That's a trusted group of individuals. We also have an inner circle in our work setting, and we tend to speak with those people most of the time. If you do some conversation traffic analysis, you'll discover that the vast majority of your conversations are with a very, very few people that you surround yourself with. And what we found in our research was the people who were making the biggest differences, they were having conversations with people outside their inner circle. They were going further out. They were having conversations with somebody, if they're in a larger organization, in another department, somebody had a completely different discipline that they did. And they would pose the challenge or the issue they were working on, and they would get totally fresh thinking because that person looks at it from a completely different perspective. And so we found that outer circle conversation had a huge impact in driving fresh thinking and new ideas to solve problems or come up with new innovative ideas. And I found that pretty fascinating because we do tend to get stuck in our same little bubble, talking about the same issues, and it's sort of a little bit Groundhog Day, talking to the same people about the same things. But that ability to reach far outside that inner circle, and in fact, the research shows the further out you go, the better the chances that you will come back with fresh thinking and innovative ideas.
Well, and just before we close here, first of all, hold out that book. Let's take a look at it here so people can identify it. So Great Work: How to Make a Difference People Love. Obviously, it's available in most bookstores. I always like to ask my guests this one question before they leave, and is that if you could offer one piece of advice to an entrepreneur or a business executive or someone in a leadership role, what would that be?
I think that advice would be believe that you can be an innovator. I was amazed as we interviewed hundreds of people and analyzed thousands of examples. These were people, regular people like you and I, in regular jobs all around the world. They were the ones that were innovating. It wasn't just the sort of ultra creative types that you think, oh, I can't be very innovative. I have to be a Steve Jobs if I want to innovate something. The reality is most of the innovation in this world comes from regular people in regular jobs that choose to think differently, that choose to actually ask the right questions, have conversations with new people about the problems they're trying to solve, with actually going and seeing for yourself how things could be improved. There's a number of basic things we can do that drive innovation in whatever job we have. You don't have to leave your job to go seek some other opportunity to be creative. You can be creative, you can innovate in the job you have. And your greatest days at work are those days when you are in fact making a difference, that elicits all of your creative energy and passion into what you do. Then you're having fun at work, and then you're contributing huge amounts of value in your career and for your organization. And so I think for people to realize the power they have within them to do that and give themselves permission to go after it, you have all kinds of fun, and innovation follows those who do that.
Well, great having you on the show. Always great insight and a lot of research at your fingertips. David Sturt, thank you very much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
We've been speaking with David Sturt. He is with O.C. Tanner, management consultant, and you can contact him at the website octanner.com. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned again real soon. This is Inspiration Station here on entrepreneur.com. I'm Kirsten Kloss. Bye for now.